Remember that we started out where we opened up our, took a look at our asset panel there, and we have our assets. If you look at your local files, in our root directory, we have set up our body text, and let's go ahead and open that one up. And so that's the text that we're going to use to build our pages. We also have kind of a sample of what the page is going to ultimately look like. So this was the old page, and I'm going to take a look there at the design phase so that you can take a look at that. Now keep in mind a couple of other things while we're just getting started here. This page, you'll notice that I have my window, and I'm going to point right up here. I have it set up in the classic mode. You may, if you have it set up in the default, the designer mode gives us our list of toolbars, or quick toolbars I should say, on a panel. I happen to just like them up over the top so that I can just pick on them. So I use the classic mode just to kind of get us back into that mode. Other than that, I've got a few Word files there that we can't actually open those in Dreamweaver, but you can copy and paste. The new CS5 actually does a pretty good job of cleaning up a lot of the formatting problems that we had with Word in the past. So anyway, let's get started. So basically, I've got my file set up. I have my root directory, and what I'm going to do is we're going to set up a template, and we're going to create the colors for our links and the colors for the different parts of our base file here, our home page, so to speak. And then we're going to, one thing that we didn't do in class that I want to make sure that I do so that you have that as a reference is to create take the CSS that we create from that home page and cut it out of the home page and create a separate file so that you can link it. A little bit easier than going page to page, because by the time we're finished with this, we will have created probably about 7 or 8 pages, kind of the whole website. So, and by the magic of video, you won't have to go through each step. I'll let you do that on your own. Anyway, starting out now, so I'm going to, this is our practice file, so I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to create a new file. And I want it to say HTML, and I'm going to come over to Layout, and you'll notice that it gives you quite a few choices here. And on your own, you can go back in and click on the different ones to kind of see where we're going. We're gonna use the first one, which I think is kind of what they used to create this sample for us. It's one column fixed, centered, header and footer, so you can kind of see a picture of what it's going to look like. This gives you the document type down here, and if you wanted to, and you were going to create, remember I said that this Dreamweaver CS5 also was compatible to HTML5. You could, the XHTML transitional, which is the default that it clicks on, is where that is basically the norm, I guess I should say, in the CSS. So the other thing that it gives you a chance to do, actually this is what we didn't do in class, and I want you to at least see how we can do that. We're going to create a new file when we do our CSS layout. So let's create a new file. So now we're going to click Create, and it says, okay, the file name, we're going to create, this is the file name for our CSS, and so I'm going to call this, let's see, we're striped umbrella, right? SUSTY styles. Let's give it a 1 there. Okay, and then we're going to say save. So now we have basically, you see, it created the default page for us, and we have our style sheet here is a separate style sheet. Okay, so let's go ahead and create. Remember, we have our assets here, so I kind of know all my different what my different files are here. So I'm going to go ahead, and they give you a space here. This is just a placeholder basically to show you that you can insert a logo. Well, we know we already have our header file, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And you'll see that that is, if you take a minute and take a look at this, you're going to see that obviously it gives you some instructions on the layout just here in the, and we're going to put our own content in there, so we don't really need that. But what we've got here is, if you click here, you're in the header. If you click into the body, you'll notice that down here, keep in mind, you've got your div container, which is the whole thing, and you've got your div content, which is where we are. If I click up in the top there, I'm in my div header, and if I click in the bottom here, I'm in the div footer. So you can kind of see the different parts of the template as we've gotten started. Anyway, I'm going to click up in my header because now I know that I want to scroll down and I want to find SU banner. And what I can do is I can either click and place a, I can drop down the image here, I can click, go to my assets, and scroll down till I find that SU banner and go ahead and place it. It gives you this little hint here that says, you know, to make sure that it's you have to save the document in order to make this a relative path. And we're going to say okay. You can, if you don't want that to show up, you can always click here and it won't show you that message again. And then I'm going to say this is the, remember I'm thinking about my CSS as I'm going, so I'm going to put my striped umbrella header in here. The alt tag, you want to, if you can, try to always put your alt tags in there because it gives, if for some reason, unbeknownst to us, when the visitor to your page, if the graphic doesn't download, it at least tells them what's supposed to be there. It also will get searched when it's one of the elements that a search engine, when it catalogs your page, will pick up the alt tag. So go ahead and say OK. There it clicks right in. You'll notice that there's a green background there that I'm not too crazy about. So what I'm going to do is, notice it says class header, and if I look over in my style sheet, I'll see that it says header. So I'm going to click on that header real quick, and I'm going to click on the pencil and see where it says background color here. For background, I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to put white there. There you go. So now we have a header, and we're good to go. Now what I'm going to do is, this is going to be, I'm just going to take these HTML tags the way they are, and you'll see that it's an H1 tag, and I'm just going to put welcome. Okay, because I already know I'm going to go up here to my body text, and I'm going to grab the welcome text here, and I'm going to Control C and copy it and come back to my page, and then I'm going to go ahead and just highlight the rest of this text, and I'm going to paste it in. So now I have my text pasted in. Good. And so I'm going to place my insertion point at the end, and I'm going to hit the enter key, and then I'm going to click on a page there, and I believe that we input the, if I'm not mistaken, the pool scene. And there again it says relative path, and I'm going to do striped, if I spell it right, umbrella pool, and say OK. So now I have my striped umbrella set up there. And if I click my, let's see here just a second. We want to make sure that we've got, can't really see this too much. I wonder if I can pull this up. I don't know if you'll be able to see. You may not be able to see this. But I do want you to see the bottom part as I'm recording. You'll notice that this element is pretty bumped up there. If I go to my horizontal spacing, and if I typed in like a 40 there, see how it would move that picture? It's giving me a 40 pixel border there, so maybe I want to go 60. And that brings my picture over a little bit more. Okay, you can play with that a little bit on your own, and you'll kind of see that it'll move that picture over for you if you want to. And then I click outside of it. Notice when I click up off the picture, those properties don't show up anymore. So keep in mind that wherever you have your insertion point, that's usually where you're going to see the properties that apply to that. So now let's see, the next thing is let's go ahead and put our footer in, and I think under my body text I have the copyright right here, so we're going to go ahead and grab that and go Control C, and I'll go back into our page. I'll highlight where it says footer, place that in, and I've got my striped umbrella. Now if you'll remember when we were in class, what we did with this footer, okay, is that we made it a little smaller and we centered it. So what I want to do is click on my footer and go ahead and edit it. And the color's okay, but I want to come up here to type, and I want to tell it to, I'm going to ask it to be a size 12. I'm going to make it italic. I'm going to make it bold. And I think we even changed the family to Times New Roman. And I think we kept everything else the same. Oh, we centered it. So basically what we want to do is go to the block category, drop that down, and hit center. And apply that, and sure enough, there's our striped umbrella. We say OK. Sometimes people in there, in the footer, it's a copyrighted, it's either a slogan or it's a copyrighted logo. Then what we might want to do is come up to Insert, and in the Insert tag, come down to HTML, and whoops, let's make sure we go into Special Characters, and it will insert a copyright signal for us, and let's say they copyrighted it as of this year. And so then we have that copyrighted. The other thing that I want to make sure that we do is come up to the title, make sure that we put the striped umbrella, and we can just leave it the striped umbrella. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to File. Let me move this down just a hair so we're kind of in the middle there. I'm going to click on File, and then I'm going to save this page. And I'm going to save it in my root directory, and I'm going to call it the index. Helps if I spell that right. And just as I usually put the tag in there, or the extension in there, just to kind of get used to using the extensions. So we're going to save that. And that now becomes our home page. And if you'll notice, let's take a look at the code. And when we scroll, if we take a look up here at the top, I just want you to take a look and see that the link reference to the style sheet is external. So none of that style coding, see how simple that page is now, none of that coding was put into the page. So that's a habit I think that would be a good one to keep in mind. What we could have done, or what you could do if you forget to do that, is go ahead and just come in here afterwards, grab all the style, and then come down and basically cut it out and then paste it into a new CSS. Let's go back to the design view. Now the one thing we wanted to do is, let's say that for instance you wanted to make you had some internal links here. We also want to see that if you want to come over and let's take a look at what our link is. You'll see that the link color, I might want to think in terms of making my links a little different colorful, or I guess more customize my links a little bit. And so what I want to do is click on a link, and we can go in, because I think when we were working with this, we made our links a little different color. So I'm going to make that a blue and apply that. And then when the visited, we'll click on that. Actually, you can shortcut into that, and we'll make that a little darker blue. Yeah, I think that may be good there. And then our hover and active, okay, we'll go in and take a look at that, and see that the color, they've not really set the color, so we want this color to be maybe more like the brown, and apply that, and then say OK. So now we've kind of customized those links to work with our color scheme. Okay. And so once we have this here again, let's take a look at it. We can preview it. And remember what happens when we preview. It always asks us to save the file. So you always want to save that. And I'm hoping I'm going to open up, and there we go. Whoops, you may not, that might have come out of your, no. There we go. I want to make sure that you're able to see that when you preview it. So as we preview it, very similar to what we've been doing. You'll notice we don't have any navigation. I'll tell you why, because we're going to create the spray menu in a little bit later. So now what we want to do is, this is going to be our template. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this file, and then we're going to save as for each of the other sections. And if you'll remember, when we go back to the sample, we had the home page, about us, accommodations, activities, seaside spa, sand crab cafe, and gift shop. So what I'll let you do is go ahead on your own and do a save as for all of those files. And we're going to add a couple extra along the way too. So when I come back, I'll show you by the magic of video in the next next file or whatever. We'll take a look at what we've got.